Hi, I'm Tyler with the Econ Tutoring Center, and today we're going to be doing a quick video on the effects of currency appreciation and depreciation on trade between nations. So in this example, we're going to use pounds and dollars and the effects between the two. So one thing I want to note before we start is that appreciation is not absolute. So when, say, the dollar appreciates relative to the pound, it doesn't mean that it appreciates relative to the euro, the yen, any other country or currency like that. So this could appreciate relative to this, but depreciate relative. Anyways, it's really confusing, but you only can look at it with two currencies at a time. Okay, so let's look and see what happens when the dollar appreciates relative to the pound. This means with respect to, so the dollar appreciates with respect to the pound, Great Britain's currency. So what this means is that essentially the value of the dollar goes up compared to pounds. So with a set amount of dollars, you can now buy more pounds than you could before, which means that you can buy more British goods. So when the dollar appreciates, the value of the dollar goes up and you're able to buy more British goods. So US imports from the UK go up. Okay, I know this is kind of confusing, so I would like you to write it all out. So this is from like the United States' perspective. They can buy more pounds, they can buy more goods, they're going to increase their imports. But now let's look at it from the UK's point of view. So what this essentially is when the dollar appreciates, when another country's currency appreciates relative to yours, your country depreciates relative to that currency. So an appreciation of dollars to pounds is the same as a depreciation of pounds to dollars. And so, like this, let's look and see. So you have a set amount of pounds. You can now buy less dollars with it, which means you can buy less US goods. So Great Britain's imports of United States' goods is going to go down. So UK imports from US goes down. So now let's just see what this means for the US as a whole, because that's what we're looking at. So what happens to the US when the dollar appreciates with respect to the pound? Alright, so this right here, the United Kingdom's imports from the United States go down. That's from the perspective of the United Kingdom, Great Britain. So a lot of the questions in a question like this, when it gives you the fact that the dollar appreciates, are going to be from the United States perspective. So what does this mean for the United States? You could say that US exports to the UK go down. These two are equivalent statements. So when the United Kingdom imports less from the United States, by definition, the United States exports less to the United Kingdom. And you could also frame this, the imports from the UK, in terms of the United Kingdom. So you could say that the United Kingdom exports to the US go up. So that's a way to answer all these questions depending on whose perspective you're asked for and what happens. But this is all kind of confusing. But when the dollar appreciates relative to the pound, US imports go up and US exports go down. So let's look and see what happens when the dollar depreciates with respect to the pound. So let's say the US dollar depreciates with respect to the pound. So this is also the same as saying that the pound appreciates with respect to the dollar, but this is how we're going to frame it. If it is, you just go with what we did earlier, just replace dollars and pounds in US and UK. Anyways, so let's just say the dollar depreciates with respect to the pound. Alright, so what does this depreciation mean? This means that the United States dollar is less valuable with respect to the pound. So a set amount of dollars can now buy less pounds than it could before, which means that that set amount of dollars can buy less British goods than it could before. So the United States is going to buy less British goods, so US imports from the UK will go down. Alright, so what does this mean for United States exports? So now, a set amount of pounds can buy more dollars because the dollar is less valuable, so that set amount of pounds can buy more US goods. Britain is going to buy more US goods, which means that United States exports to the United Kingdom will go up. So when a currency depreciates, that country's imports go down and that country's exports go up. Alright, so I know that was a little bit confusing, but hopefully some of that made sense. And if it didn't, leave a comment on the video or come into the Econ Tutoring Center. Thank you.